What's up, guys? Scott here from Chernobyl Studios, and I know this is the video you guys have been waiting for ever since I premiered the Emissary 2 teaser trailer video. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Let's go ahead and listen to the song I recorded with the Emissary 2.0. there's the song, guys. I recorded this yesterday, and this is actually an older song of mine that I wrote about 4 or so years ago that just screamed to have a recording. The guitar that I used was my BC Rich, the white one that you guys have seen in previous videos, tuned to E flat. So just a half step down from E standard. Brand new string, stock pickups, stock everything else. But E flat does sound pretty heavy, doesn't it? So it's quad tracked, as you can see here. That's because I'm taking different impulses and I'm blending them. So, for example, I have an SM57 and a R21. I'm using the Marshall 1960B with V30s in it, and these are from Red Wires. These are premium amp impulses, cabinet impulses, excuse me. And then I'm blending that with, you see the balance is 100% to a 421 on the cone, 3 inches back from the grill. So with this blended together, it sounds pretty cool. Now with the leads, I believe I just went with the SM57 and the R21. Yeah, because with the combination wasn't as harsh with a lot of highs, so I like it a lot more. In combination, sorry for closing that. In combination with setting the bass way high with more mids and treble, you typically want to do that when you're doing leads and stuff that have the same amp. Make your settings a bit different. Include some more mids so that it'll cut through the mix, obviously. So that was the song, and finally, I'm starting to make the songs available for purchase on Bandcamp. This is a way that you guys can support me. I am not a fan of Patreon. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. It just feels strange for me to just ask for money. So here's a way that you guys can give back. If you're not able to pick up one of my courses on Udemy, you can throw me $1 right here. It'll go right back into the channel. So all songs that I do for the channel and just record on my own in the future will be on my Bandcamp page, and you can support me that way. So the song that you just heard is Escapism, and you can buy this for $1. Support the channel if you wish. If you can't swing it, no big deal, no pressure. Okay, so I'm going to approach this video from the point of view of a person who has never heard of the Emissary Amp Simulator before. It's hard to believe, but it does happen. So Emissary, the original, was created by an Italian company called Ignite Amps. They are very famous in the free guitar amp simulator world because they are one of the very, very, very few companies who create amazingly high quality free amp simulators, and they're actually good. Their website just came back online. It's a really great website, loads quickly, and there's a lot of stuff to read here. I really encourage you to visit the website, read the text. And after this video, because you are definitely going to go download Emissary when it comes out, and I suggest you download the version 1 while you're waiting, consider throwing them $1 or $2 because they definitely deserve it. The quality that they put into their free amp simulators is even above some of the premium, quote, amp simulators that you're going to find on the market. So here's what the old version looked like. It actually looks exactly like what the new version looks like. It's missing a few key features here. We will go over that. So the Emissary itself is one of the premium free, if you could use those two words together, high gain metal amp simulators on the market. It is, well, I'm not going to read this for you because you can read it yourself. But as you can see, it reads like a premium amp simulator. For good reason. We were also using the new version of I call it the NadIR. I believe they call it the NadIR. I'm not particularly sure. Maybe some of you guys can correct me. This is the old design. It's basically the same, except it's missing 2 key features that we will talk about. Otherwise, the programming has been improved, the latency has been improved, and it's, as far as I could tell, even lower CPU usage. But you can read about the 2 products right here on their website before you go ahead and download them. So go ahead and jump back into Reaper and start looking at what the difference is between the new version and the old version. Here we are. So the keen observer is immediately going to notice that the proprietary preset manager has been included in the new version of Emissary. This is pretty much like a must-have because you can now put the settings for what you want to use right in the plugin itself, and you don't really have to necessarily create track templates every time when you want to create a new sound, which is what I used to do. Every time I would come up with a different Emissary sound, it meant a new track template. So it would be like Emissary 6-string E flat tuning, more mids. Emissary drop A, less highs, more present. So I would have to get creative with my naming convention because after a while you just run out of names. Or you would say like Emissary 6-string drop C version 2. Now you can get rid of that nonsense and you just put it right here in the plugin so you can keep the track templates to a lower count. That said, aside from the visual thing that's clearly obvious to us, there are two behind-the-scenes things that are very important. So first of all, the triode modeling engine has been completely recoded from scratch, as far as I understand. What this means is you get a better sound, better performance, and less CPU usage. The other half of that is now that it's an improved amp simulation sound, and you're going to hear the difference. Actually, there is a discernible difference between these two, especially because I'm not using the 6L6s like everybody does. Actually, if you weren't aware, you can actually change the tubes right here. So I'm using the EL34s. With the old version of the EL34, the volume was drastically lower, and it didn't seem as tight, and it actually sounded more fizzy. I did not process these differently. We will listen to them, A/B them, of course, but I just increased the volume of version 1 so that you wouldn't, your brain wouldn't be tricked into thinking that version 2 is better just because it's louder. You never want to do that. So I increased the volume a little bit just to make sure that they're basically the same so you can focus on the tone, and there is a difference. I was told by Ignite Amps that it is the most advanced code that they have written yet. It's even more advanced than the new pedals of Anvil and Prophet that they released last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I believe it was last year. So it's even more advanced than that, better written, higher quality. So this is the top of the line code that they have written coming out in Emissary 2.0. Now, before I go ahead and start A/Bing everything for you guys, I just want to show you the NadIR or NadIR. It's very simple. So once again, here we have the preset manager, and there are two new knobs here. We have the room knob and the resonance knob. The room knob does exactly as advertised, as does resonance, and it's a very cool feature because you can add more liveliness to your cabinet impulse. For example, if it doesn't have like what's the effect that I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, I made a cut in the video so I could actually go look. The effect that I was thinking of was proximity effect. So you can introduce a proximity effect into your cabinet impulse if it's too much into your face. Same thing with resonance. These are just ways to try and make your cabinet impulses and your guitar sound more realistic, like it's sitting in an actual room. If you are in an instance where you don't have premium impulses like what I'm using right here, so where you could pick a condenser mic or something like that to give you that proximity effect. So those are really the main changes here. Obviously, the CPU usage in the code, I'm not sure if this was recoded from the ground up. The GUI is obviously different. And a funny fact, actually, I was told it is high DPI supported, meaning if you have a monitor that is high DPI supported, you will know what that means. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It just means that it could, at 4K resolution, it can be rendered at higher. Doesn't matter. So if you have a high DPI monitor, great. If you don't care. Doesn't matter. So this is the cabinet impulse response loader. Other than that, there's nothing that we need to discuss here. And there's really no way I can A/B this. It's awesome. Download it. There's no reason to use any other one. All right, so moving on. So let's go ahead. I actually have two tests here. I've already bounced out the guitars, the Emissary version 2 with Emissary version 1. So we're going to kick off to a blank, not a blank screen, but a screen that'll just have the graphic of which one is playing. You can go ahead and listen to the difference yourself. There'll be a snippet of the song with a full mix with Emissary 2, Emissary 1. Then I will turn the song off. It'll be just the guitars with all the processing, Emissary 2, Emissary 1, and then the guitars, no processing, Emissary 2, Emissary 1. And then you can make up your own mind of which one you like better. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, so there you go. What did you think of the comparisons? Now, for me, there is a difference, and I hope that you were listening to on a good pair of headphones or a good pair of studio monitors. There is a difference. It's not even subtle, it's quite obvious, actually. So, they have made a huge upgrade in their coding. The plugin loads quickly, it's easy to play with, no problems with CPU, and it does, in fact, sound better. So, is it worth it to upgrade? Yes. And it's free. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have got it from them that the release date is the second half of February. So basically a week or so from the release of this video. If you're already watching the video after February or 60 years from now, man, if the plugin still exists in 60 years, go download it because it's awesome. Really, please consider throwing them a few dollars for all the hard work that they do. They are awesome and deserve every bit of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment below what you thought. If you like Emissary, if you don't like Emissary, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, please leave a comment telling me why and telling everybody else why you don't like the Emissary. And share the video, and yeah, I'm waiting, just like you guys, for the final build. This is not the final build of the plugin, by the way, but I'm sure it's nearly there. But I am, just like the rest of you, waiting for the final build so that I can add it to my collection. Thanks a lot, guys, for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you soon. Have a good one.